Rovers summer rebuild continues to get a little bit of attention in the media, with another name being thrown into the mix. Who is it? Well, he's coming from non-league, and I'll tell you all about it. And he's coming at you, nerds! That's right, folks, back once again with another transfer rumour video. Today, we're going to talk about a potential midfield addition, which should cost Blackburn Rovers absolutely nothing. That's right, we'll get to it in a second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, your one-stop shop for, of course, transfer rumours, Blackburn Rovers, world football. We've got it all here under one rooski. And today, we're going to take a look at the latest name thrown in the mix for Blackburn Rovers. We'll get into it, all of it, in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, if you're new, smash the old subscribe, boys and girls. That's right, Rovers, as we continue to navigate through the summer transfer window. Of course, the window officially is not open, but it does not mean Blackburn Rovers we're linked with anybody. And the names that we are linked with at the moment are few and far between, but there's been another one hot off the block, and I'm going to show you the article right here, right now. It is a man, he goes by the name, because I don't know the fella, by Joe Sbarra. That's right, Joe Sbarra. It does come from not the greatest of sources, Football Insider. They do say this is an exclusive on their behalf. So Joe Sbarra, who the fuck is this guy? Well, he actually played for Solihull Moors in the non-league, National League, of course, the Vanarama League, whatever you want to call it. He does have championship history, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Of course, he is 25 years of age, and he did choke in with 3 goals and 24 appearances for Solihull Moors, who just failed to progress to the EFL in the playoffs there. Instantly, you're thinking, oh, what the heck is this about? Honestly, it's the market that we're in, guys. It's the market that we're in. But don't get me wrong, I do believe there's other interest in this kid. And when I say kid, I say that lightly, because instantly this guy would come in and be amongst the more older fellas within the club already. So a bit of experience, and we'll take a little look at him in a bit more detail in just a second. So yeah, of course we are trying to keep a hold of Sammy Smudge, or are we? I think we're just trying to get the best bang for our buck for him. But is this guy a like replacement? To be honest with you, the answer is no. So let's take a look at Mr. Sbarra right here, right now. Got a fancy name, cool name. Yeah, and of course, he does have championship experience, and we'll talk about that in a second. So this is, of course, his stats for this season. 21 appearances for Solihull Moors. He got 3 yellow cards, 1 goal, 1 assist. I think that is just in the league itself, not necessarily in the playoffs, etc., etc. He was in the starting 11 just 35 times, and he played 36% of the minutes, 3% goal participation for Solihull Moors. As you can see, his performances towards the end of the season have, of course, got the attention from not only Blackburn Rovers, from other clubs as well in the EFL. Standout performances against Bromley, of course, sort of maybe even a potential man of the match performance, some 8.0, 7.9, a strong end to the season, which of course is alerted to the attention of John Eustace's recruitment staff. This is his heat map, of course. He plays predominantly down the right-hand side, as you can see here. He's a midfield, I would like to say dynamo, but I don't know about this kid. He seems to be very attack-minded, but of course the goal execution has been not as great as you would expect. Now, of course, those numbers don't really paint a good picture realistically when you look at it. Of course, he is playing in the non-league, and if it's somebody that's gonna grab my attention, then I'd rather, I'd love to see double digits all over the place. So yeah, already I've got a little bit of concern about that. Meanwhile, let's take a look at him in a bit more detail, of course, as we look at some more numbers. Here he is, I believe, taking a penalty, of course, but there he is. Played 24 matches. He started 19 of those 24, so maybe conflicting opinions there with the previous graphic. Chalked in with 3 goals, shots per game 1.4. He does like to have a go, which of course is something that we need. 3 assists, of course, 22.2 accurate passes per game, 81% reaching their intended target. On the defensive side, 2.6 interceptions per game. He was recovered the ball 4.4 times per game as well. Dribbled past a player 1.5 times a game as well. And, of course, 3 yellow cards to his name. So, of course, he does seem a bit tenacious, and that is, of course, what we want. We don't want those players who just give it a little bit. We want players chasing down, hustling it after they make goofball errors. So what kind of player is he? Well, here he is, and this is his preferred positions within the graphic here. Does like to play down the middle, preferably, but he does drift out wide to the right-hand side. Can also play in more of a box-to-box sort of midfield role. His value is on decline. Of course, he is free, and that is, of course, music to Blackburn Rovers' ears. They don't have to pay anything. He'll add a little bit of a depth to the squad. Let's take a look at his strengths then. Again, we've got limited data. He's a non-league player, so we've got limited data. His weaknesses, aerial duels and passing, appear to be weak. Not necessarily many strengths. His style of play, though, play short passes, do a lot of layoffs, shoot from distance, and he gets fouled often. Think about Jack Grealish in the non-league. Just a little bit of background about Mr. Sbarra, but what sort of player is he like, and where would he fit in with a team such as Blackburn Rovers? Well, I'd like to compare him to this fella right here, and he goes by the name of John Buckley. That's right, John Buckley wasn't really in the spotlight with JDT, but got a few cameo appearances under John Eustace. And to be honest with you, I don't know where he fits at the moment in John Eustace's plans. I hope him, Buckley, Travis, and of course any other loanees that went away have a good pre-season and get to know Mr. Eustace and maybe give themselves a second chance. But currently, I will put these competing for the same spot at Blackburn Rovers. That's no disrespect to John Buckley. I think he's a contender to compete next season. But I think positionally, these two are like for like. So let's take a look at those two as we compare them. And again, age is pretty similar. In fact, Mr. Sbarra is 1 year older than John Buckley. He's around about the same height, 1.68 centimetres or 1.1 metres, 68 centimetres compared to 1.73 for Buckley. Buckley has the edge in that. Both right-footed clubs, of course, and Sbarra preferring a more attacking-minded than John Buckley, who's more of a box-to-box kind of guy. And again, free transfer. So we like that as well. As we look at John Buckley's value, of course, is much significantly better than Sbarra, who never really broke $250,000 back in the day. But the stats are an interesting read here. As you can see, they're both playing around about the same amount of games. 219 games, Sbarra, in all competitions. Of course, Buckley 226, and that does include academy games as well. The goals, though, 37 goals for Sbarra, 13 goals for Buckley. He's not known for his scoring. Assists, though, go in favour of Buckley with 19 compared to that of Sbarra with 9. We're looking at, 357 minutes per goal for Sbarra, where we're looking at more of 1,000 minutes or something like that. I don't even know for Buckley. Goals more likely to come from Sbarra. But again, when we look at the championship stats, if we were focusing on that, just 18 games played at championship level, 3 assists though at that level, so that's not too shabby there. So the majority of assists came in the championship, of course. When we turn the clock back. So for me, I'm not blown away by this transfer. I think it makes sense. We are looking for depth within this team, and this player will add depth. But will he add the quality that we need? I've got a lot of questions. I've got more questions than answers, or more questions than anything. To be honest with you, I'm not too sure if I wouldn't get excited with it, but I think adding him would, of course, add an extra player, extra bit of depth. And of course, it would be a full-time player, a player that will would be hopefully playing for the badge. Of course, making a significant jump from non-league to championship. That shit doesn't happen naturally. There's not many players that can do that, go from non-league to championship over the course of a summer. So for me, I'm a little bit dubious about the legitimacy of this link, this rumor, and of course, I don't know. I think a trial would be best for Rovers at first to see what sort of caliber player is, because I don't know. I don't even know when those championship years was. Was it 7 years ago? Was it 2 years ago? I don't know. So I'm a little bit, not excited. I'm not really excited about this potential, and I feel that we could possibly do better elsewhere. So let's see, though. Of course, the rumours will continue to surface over the course of the summer, and I will hope to bring you bang up to date with, of course, any developments whenever they come around.